So we're talking a little pop culture here because I'm talking airsoft. That's very pop culture in this today and age. I brought up my own command film manual of how to learn to be Green Beret from my dad's closet, right? Woo. But here you guys mixing it together, a pop culture field manual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, go for it, Izzy. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us, Israel.
Oh yeah, man. It's been great. Cameron and I we met doing Gameology Spec Ops React videos. So video game reaction videos, and then a little while after that, a buddy of ours approached us about starting a podcast, trying to meet the two, like pop culture and military. Mm-hmm. So we bring our experience and our perspective as military guys to bear on any number of subjects that are out there in pop culture, and it's been a lot of fun, man. We've been doing it for about 3 years. We're into season 3 or so.
Yeah,
2.5, 3 years.
Long and fun road. The best types.
You know, I'm pretty sure I've seen you react to some videos, Cameron. I'm pretty sure I've seen you do it. Right? Is that right?
Yeah, me and Izzy do them together, and they've been out there for a long time, and some of them have gotten great traction. Like the company we worked for, Gameology, is a video game media company, and they have over 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and they push that stuff out. So as you were deaf scrolling on Facebook at 12 o'clock at night one night,
really.
We probably popped up and you're just like, who are these two idiots?
Yeah,
and
really. No. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, what are they doing? Yeah. Talking about video. Okay. Everybody's got a niche. I'm cool with it. It's like, if we can all just have a conversation like this, in society where we're just having a back and forth, no matter what we think on the inside of politics or, where America should be, we should have conversations like this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I think airsoft, milsim, any kind of pop culture field manual or this podcast, all good for the culture, I would say, because a lot of comments that Cameron and I have gotten in the comment section have been like, I never saw military men quite like you guys. You guys are very different, but you seem really relatable, and yet you're from kind of elite military units. Right. And so there's a relatability and kind of an attraction, I guess.
Yeah.
Common connection, sure. A rapport, that comes from people, young guys and girls seeing us and having a perception of the military that maybe was a little bit different or maybe a little more hardcore. Maybe it's like the Jockos and the David Goggins that they've seen. Like, oh, that's a military guy. But then Cameron and I come along, we're kind of jokesters and more lighthearted, and they see that too. And I think that's important for the culture.
Like, wait, are they talking about Call of Duty, or are they talking about PUBG? Are they talking about the actual weaponry moving in Battlefield 4? Is he talking about getting out and touching all 4 corners of the vehicle? Does that happen in real life? Does he really use a blowtorch? Is that happening right now? Does he decor? Is that Semtex? What, do you guys really use Semtex? Right? It's like, holy cow, someone can actually approach you and hit you up, and I bet you reply to your comments on YouTube's and on your social medias.
We try to.
We try to keep up, man.
It's a lot of work, man. Social media, and that's like a whole ass job, right?
I know.
It's crazy.
Tell me about it. I'm hanging by a thread on Threads. Are you guys on there yet?
I need to hire someone. Man.
Have you not gone on Threads yet?
Oh,
no,
man,
I haven't been on Threads.
It moves so quickly, man. I can't keep up.
So I got invited through Instagram to activate my Thread account the day they launched, and then I guess they brought 70 million subscribers, most downloaded the other day, maybe 5-6 days ago. But CBS News has joined, and all these other outlets are joining. I believe that you can just get verified for a blue check. There's not really a fee, but don't quote me on that. It'll probably become a fee now that I said it. But
don't put it out there, man.
It's
too many subscriptions anyways.
But the Threads, you can share your post on Threads with a title, and then you can share it to Instagram, Facebook. So I've noticed a change in social media keep up. Like, I used to be able to share from one media outlet to all these others, but now they're kind of blocking each other off. Especially with Zuck and Musk going at it right now. So now you used to be able to share to Twitter from Instagram. That no longer is a thing.
No, they're two separate entities.
They're two separate entities. Now you got Threads with Instagram, which is going to compete against Twitter. And anybody listening right now, it's rad rockin' on Threads. I just want to see if it works. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to go start my account right now.
Well, what's crazy is there's a lot of people out there that do have the check marks, and they only have 4 or 5 followers growing. Like Jack Black was replying to everybody, follow me, I'll follow you. Follow me, I'll follow you. And I see how they're doing it. And I'm like, okay, follow me, I'll follow you. And that kind of got up to about 200 followers in about a minute. And then it's just kind of tapered off. So here I am.
It's nuts. Yeah, here I am. You know, the craziest story I ever heard, like back in the day when you had to grind to like get any sort of popularity. Dane Cook allegedly, when he was coming in, before he became like the most popular comedian of like the late 2000s, he would get on MySpace. And, you know, if you're a young guy, something called MySpace is out there.
Tom.
Top 8, baby.
Yeah, he was part of my top
8.
5. Yeah, top 5, top 8. But yeah, you get on MySpace and literally respond and message to every single person that would comment on his stuff. And that's how he gained that rapport. So it's social media is a grind.
He made his money too.
Yeah.
Dane Cook made his money from learning how to just book the venue himself.
Yeah, he did everything himself. Yeah.
Yep. He's like, how much does it cost? They're like $400,000. He's like, well, okay, here we go. And he put everything into it, and it brought back like $7 million.
Yeah. Man,
but he already knew that. Man. That's why he went in on it. He already knew.
Just grinded. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
just
risk versus reward. You got to be willing to take risk.
Well, Izzy, I'm going to call you Izzy because I hear him calling you Izzy. Is that cool?
Not even my family calls me Israel, so you're in the right. You're in the right crowd.
Well, good. Now, Izzy, you're airborne. Okay.
Yep.
Here you are, static line, getting ready to shuffle out. Did you ever have a mishap happen on the way down or get tangled up or anything like Rambo cutting away?
No, nothing like that. I had a really good experience with my airborne. I actually got to go to Halo school as well when I was in group. So I got to actually do the, military free fall with the big old, the oxygen mask and the ruck in between your legs.
Square parachute.
Jumping out. Yeah, square parachute. Yeah. I had the hardest thing I ever had was twisted lines. And, you got to grab behind you and kick out of it, and spin out, and that I had quite a few twists. And so that took me a couple seconds on the way down, but it popped open. So no, I've never had any weird mishaps and stuff.
What about you? Yeah, what about you? You're airborne. You're Ranger. Yeah. What about you?
No, I've had some really close calls that I thought it was like, yeah. Yeah. I've had about 2, one of them was, I realized when you do something terrible, you learn lessons from everything, right? So like after it was a CH-47 jump, which is for the Chinooks, for the
helicopter with the 2 rotors.
Two rotors, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we call it the War Chariot, my favorite aircraft of all time. But we had one of those jumps, and those jumps are the best jumps because you just ramp blast right off the back. And it's, you don't get blasted by wind when you're jumping out of, a C-130 or C-17 off the side. It's just off the back and you just free fall down. It was that, but for some reason, it was supposed to be the best jump ever. And it was my first time doing it. But when I jumped out, it was just super rough environment. Like there's a lot of wind. And I just started oscillating super hard. And oscillating's where, the parachute's static, but you're just going left and right and left like a pendulum on the end of a string. And, right as I was about to hit the ground, I'm like at the peak, at the highest point of my oscillation. So as I'm coming down, that's when I land. So the force of me hitting the ground and coming down on the oscillation just like knocked the wind out of me. And then my basically riser lines got wrapped around my cam hook release assemblies, which is essentially how you would disattach your parachute. And they wrapped around so I couldn't even open them. And then since it was a windy day, my parachute opened up again on the ground and just started dragging me maybe 100, 200 meters. And dudes had to come over and straight up like attack the parachute. And one guy came up to me. Yeah, because I was getting drugged. And you get drugged fast because these parachutes, once they inflate again on the ground, you're like, drag racing, literally. This guy came over and he's like, hey, dude, are you okay? I thought you died because you hit the ground so hard. I'm just sitting there like coughing and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But after that, I was like, I need to carry a knife on me because if that shit, I had nothing to cut away the risers off my cam release assemblies. So that was bad jump number 1. Bad jump number 2 was it was my first C-17 jump, and I didn't realize that the plane is a lot bigger. So the platform when you open the doors, a platform for your feet actually come out and go past the door. So I didn't realize that happened because I've been jumping C-130s my entire career so far. And as I jumped out, I didn't account for the distance of the platform. So I literally jumped onto the platform, and my forward momentum, like my heels hit the edge and caused me to start front flipping. So basically, I started front flipping through my risers like 2 or 3 times. And then I thought I was going to totally die because, you don't want your feet to go through those things. And for some reason, I did perfect front flips just through my wrap, and I had no twists. My parachute opened up perfectly, and I'm screaming the entire time. You're supposed to do a 6-second count. So like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But my 6-second count was... and it opened up, and I'm looking up, and I'm seeing everything. My the risers, the parachute fully expand. I got no twist, and I'm still looking up, screaming like ah! Realize I'm okay, but as I look to my left, I'm literally approaching another jumper's vent. And that's and that's another thing. So I finally pull a slip, and I'm like, we're yelling at each other. And like, as I'm feet away from this thing, a gust of wind picks me up and takes me away. And this is all a combat jump too, so I have full equipment on me. And as I'm coming to the ground, I try to lower my equipment. It doesn't go.
Jeez.
So
you're trying to drop your rucksack, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to drop my rucksack, and you have this little pull tab between your legs, which basically all your equipment is attached to this like 15 or 20 foot cord, and it sends the rucksack underneath you so you don't land on top of it. But I'm pulling, and it's not letting go. So I'm like, I have to ride this thing in, and that's really dangerous because the rucksack has a metal frame, and if something happens, dudes have snapped their femurs, broken legs all the time by riding gear in.
Well, you have to do a PLF, right? You have to do one. And in order to do that, you have to have your knees together, bent, and then hit the ground and roll, right?
But there's a giant rucksack between your legs, so you can't do that.
So
so that's how
like
dudes
spread.
snap legs. Yeah. So somehow, I'm like, here we go. Here comes a career-ending injury, and then all of a sudden, updraft from the ground right before I hit the ground, and I land
sat you down.
soft. I literally just sat on my rucksack, and I was like, this was the worst jump ever.
Bro, that sounds gnarly. I saw my dad's friend jump Halo here at the Ogden Airport when they were doing like a Green Beret training day. They were all doing static lines, but then their buddy Kim, small little dude, he jumped out from higher up doing this Halo, and they're all watching. We're standing by the picnic tables, and then all of a sudden, they all just start running. They just know something's right?
Going on.
Yeah, so what happened was the wind had picked him up about 40 feet from the ground and just boom, brought him down. Yeah, just dropped him. So they were just running like right away. But I was just like, that's dad and guys. So
just dudes being dudes.
Dudes being dudes, going through their qualification course. You sure you didn't happen in training? You sure this didn't happen? Sure it's not attributed to your injuries in the military? You sure about that?
Yeah, right.
Getting dragged
Record
600
everything.
meters? You sure about that?
You sure about that?
You sure about that?
Sure about that?